is the coffee, Steve dear. There's nothing the matter with the coffee. There's something the matter with you.
There may be something the matter with my stomach.
Your stomach. The trouble is not with your stomach, but in your subconscious mind.
Subconscious. Piffle.
Steve, you never used to be so disagreeable. You certainly have got some sort of complex. You're all inhibited. You're no longer open to new ideas. You won't listen to a word about psychoanalysis.
A word? I've listened to volumes.
You cease to be creative in architecture. Your work isn't going well. You're not sleeping well.
How can I sleep, Henrietta, when you're always waking me up to find what I'm dreaming?
But dreams are so important, Steve. If you tell yours to Dr. Russell, he'd find out exactly what's wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with me.
You don't even talk as well as you used to.
Talk? I can't see a thing without you looking at me in that dark fashion you have when you're on the trail of a complex.
This very irritability indicates that you're suffering from some suppressed desires.
I'm suffering from a suppressed desire for peace.
Dr. Russell is doing some wonderful work with nervous cases. Won't you go to him, Steve?
No, Henrietta, I won't.
But Stephen.
Shush. I hear Mabel coming. Let's not be at each other's throats the first day of her visit.
Good morning.
Oh, here you are, little sister.
Good morning, Mabel.
It's so good to have you here. I was going to let you sleep, thinking you'd be tired after such a long trip. Sit down. There'll be fresh toast in a minute, and will you have...
No, I ought to have told you, Henrietta, don't get anything for me. I'm not eating breakfast.
Why are you not eating breakfast?
The psychoanalytical word.
Why, no particular reason. I just don't care much for breakfast. They say it keeps down the weight. That is, it's a good thing to go without it.
Don't you sleep well? Did you sleep well last night?
Oh, yes, I slept all right. Yes, I slept fine last night, only I did have the funniest dream.
And what did you dream?
Look here, Mabel. I feel it's my duty to put you on notice. Don't tell Henrietta your dreams. If you do, she'll find out that you have an underground desire to kill your father and marry your mother.
Don't be absurd. What was your dream, dear?
Oh, well, I dreamed I was a hen. Yes, and I was pushing along through a crowd as fast as I could. But being a hen, I couldn't walk very fast. It was like having a tight skirt, you know. And there was some sort of creature in a blue cap. You know how mixed up dreams are. And it kept shouting after me, step, hen, until I got all excited and just couldn't move at all.
You say you became excited?
So, yes, I was in a terrible state.
This is significant.
She dreams she's a hen. She's told to step lively. She becomes violently agitated. What can it mean?
Mabel, do you know anything about psychoanalysis?
Oh, not much, no. It's something about the war, isn't it?
Not that kind of war.
I thought it might be the name of a new explosive.
It is.
You see, Henrietta, we do not live in touch with intellectual things as you do. Bob being a dentist, somehow our friends.
Oh, to be a dentist.
Don't you see any more of that editorial writer? What was his name?
Lyman Eggleston?
Yes, Eggleston. He was in touch with things. Don't you see him?
Yes, I see him once in a while. Bob doesn't like him very well.
Your husband does not like Lyman Eggleston. Mabel, are you perfectly happy with your husband?
Oh, come now, Henrietta, that's going a little strong.
Are you perfectly happy with him, Mabel?
Why, yes, I guess so. What? Well, of course I am.
Are you happy, or do you think? Or do you think you ought to be?
Henrietta, I don't know what you mean.
This is what she means, Mabel. Psychoanalysis. My work table groans with it. Books by Freud, the new Messiah. Books by Jung, the new St. Paul. The Psychoanalytical Review, that number's 250 per.
But what's it all about?
All about your non-conscious mind and desires you know not of. They may be doing you a great deal of harm. You may go crazy with them. Oh yes, people are doing it right and left. You're dreaming you're a hen.
Any fool can ridicule anything.
But what do you say it is, Henrietta?
Oh, if Henrietta's going to start that, I'm going over there.
It's like this, Mabel. You want something. You think you can't have it. You think it's wrong. So you try to think you don't want it. Your mind protects you, avoids pain by refusing to think the forbidden thing. But it's there just the same. It stays there, shut up in your unconscious mind, and it festers.
Sort of an ingrowing mental toenail.
Precisely. The forbidden impulse is there, full of energy, which has simply got to do something. It breaks into your consciousness in disguise, masks itself in dreams, makes all sorts of trouble. In extreme cases, it drives you insane.
Insane.
But psychoanalysis has found out how to save us from that. It brings into consciousness your suppressed desire that was making all the trouble. Psychoanalysis is simply the latest scientific method of preventing and curing insanity.
It is also the latest scientific method of separating families.
Families that ought to be separated.
The Dwights, for instance. You must have met them, Mabel, when you were here before. Helen was living, apparently, in peace and happiness with good old Joe. Well, she went to this psychoanalyzer. She was psyched. And bang, home she comes, with an unsuppressed desire to leave her husband.
How terrible. Yes, I remember Helen Dwight. But did she have such a desire?
First she'd known of it,
And she left him?
Yes, she did.
Wasn't he good to her?
Why, yes, good enough.
Wasn't he kind to her?
Oh, yes, very kind.
And she left her good, kind husband.
Oh, Mabel left her good, kind husband. How naive. Forgive me, dear, but how bourgeois you are. She came to know herself, and she had the courage.
I may be very naive and bourgeois, but I don't see the good of a new science that breaks up homes.
In enlightening Mabel, we mustn't neglect to mention the case of Aunt Holden's private secretary, Mary Snow, who has just been informed of her suppressed desire for her employer.
I think that is terrible, Henrietta. It would be better if we didn't know such things about ourselves.
No, Mabel, that is the old way.
But her employer? Is he married?
Wife and 4 children.
Well then, what good does it do the girl to be told she has a desire for him? There's nothing can be done about it.
Old institutions will have to be reshaped so that something can be done in such cases. It happens, Mabel, that this suppressed desire was on the point of landing Mary Snow in the insane asylum. Are you so tight-minded that you'd rather have her in the insane asylum than break the conventions?
But have people always had these awful suppressed desires?
Always.
But they've just been discovered.
The harm they do has just been discovered. And free, sane people must face the fact that they have to be dealt with.
I don't believe they have them in Chicago.
People have them wherever the living libido, the center of the soul's energy, is in conflict with petrified moral codes. That means everywhere in civilization. Psychoanalysis.
Good God, I've got the roof in the cellar.
The roof of the cellar.
That's what psychoanalysis does.
That's what psychoanalysis could undo. Is it any wonder I'm concerned about Steve? He dreamed the other night that the walls of his room melted away and he found himself alone in a forest. Don't you see how significant it is for an architect to have walls slip away from him? It symbolizes his loss of grip in his work. There's some suppressed desire.
Suppressed hell.
You speak more than you know. It is through suppressions that hells are formed in us.
Oh, I'm sorry, Henrietta. I dropped it. And one of the spode plates, too. Don't take it so to heart, Henrietta.
I can't help taking it to heart.
Well, I'll get you another.
It's not the plate.
Well, for heaven's sake, what is it then?
It's the significant little false movement that made you drop it.
I suppose everyone makes a false movement once in a while.
Yes, Mabel. But these false movements all mean something.
I don't think that's very nice. It was just because I happened to think of that Mabel Snow you were talking about.
Mabel Snow.
Snow, well, what was her name?
Her name is Mary. You substituted your name for her.
Well, Mary Snow, then Mary Snow. I never heard her name but once. I don't see anything to make such a fuss about.
Mabel, dear, Mistakes like that in names,
They don't mean something too, do they?
I'm sorry, dear, but they do.
But I'm always doing that.
My poor little sister, tell me about it. About your not being happy. About your longing for another kind of life.
But I don't.
I understand these things, dear. You feel Bob is limiting you to a life in which you do not feel free.
Henrietta, when did I ever say such a thing?
You said you were not in touch with things intellectual. You showed your feeling that it is Bob's profession that has engendered a resentment which has colored your whole life with him.
My Henrietta.
Don't be afraid of me, little sister. There's nothing can shock me or turn me from you. I am not like that. I wanted you to come for this visit because I have a feeling that you needed more from life than you're getting. No one of these things that I have seen would excite my suspicion. It's the combination. You don't eat breakfast. You make false moves. You substitute your own name for another whose love is misdirected. You're nervous. You look queer. In your eyes is a frightened look that is most unlike you. And this dream, a hen. Come with me this afternoon to Dr. Russell. Your whole life may be at stake, Mabel.
Henrietta, you always were the smartest in the family and all that, but this is terrible. I don't think we ought to think such things. Well, I can tell you why I dreamed I was a hen. It was because last night, telling about that time in Chicago, you said I was as mad as a wet hen.
Did you dream that you were a wet hen?
No.
No, you dreamed that you were a dry hen. And why, being a hen, were you urged to step?
Well, maybe it's because when I'm getting on a streetcar, it always irritates me to have them call Step Lively.
No, Mabel. That is only a child's view of it, if you will forgive me. You see merely the elements used in the dream. You do not see into the dream. You do not see its meaning. This dream of the hen.
Hen, wet hen, dry hen, mad hen. Let me out of this.
Just a minute, dear, and we'll have things so you can work in private. Mabel and I are going to sit in my room. Just let me take these things into the kitchen.
Mabel, I'm going to be psychoanalyzed. I'm going now. I'm going straight to that infallible doctor of hers, that priest of this new religion. If he's got honesty enough to tell Henrietta there's nothing the matter with my unconscious mind, perhaps I can be let alone about it, and then I will be all right. Don't tell Henrietta I'm going. It might take weeks, and I couldn't stand all the talk.
Bye, Steve.
Where's Steve? Gone? You see how impatient he is? How unlike himself. I tell you, Mabel, I'm really distracted about Steve.
I think he's a little distracted, too.
Well, if he's gone, you might as well stay here. I have a committee meeting at the bookshop, and we'll have to leave you to yourself for about an hour or two. Here is one of the simplest statements of psychoanalysis. You just read this, and then we can talk more intelligently. How old is Lyman Eggleston?
He isn't 40 yet. Why? What made you ask that?
Oh, nothing. Au revoir.
The plate. The book. Am I unhappy?
What are you doing, my dear?
My paper for the liberal clubs
Your paper on?
on a subject which does not have your sympathy.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm wholly out of sympathy with psychoanalysis, Henrietta. You worked it so hard, I couldn't even take a bath without its meaning something.
I talked about it because I knew you needed it.
You haven't said much about it these last 2 weeks. Your faith in it hasn't weakened any.
Weakened, it's grown stronger with each new thing I've come to know. And Mabel, she is with Dr. Russell now. Dr. Russell is wonderful. From what Mabel tells me, I believe his analysis is going to prove that I was right. Today I discovered a remarkable confirmation of my theory about the hen dream.
What is your theory?
Well, you know about Lyman Eggleston. I've wondered about him. I've never seen him, but I know he's less bourgeois than Mabel's other friends, more intellectual. And she doesn't see much of him because Bob doesn't like him.
But what's the confirmation?
Today, I noticed the first syllable of his name.
Lie?
No, egg.
Egg?
Mabel dreamed she was a hen. You wouldn't laugh if you know how important names are in interpreting dreams. Freud is full of such cases in which a whole hidden complex is revealed by a single significant syllable, like this egg.
Doesn't the traditional relationship of hen and egg suggest rather a maternal feeling?
There is something maternal in Mabel's love, of course, but that's only one element.
Well, suppose Mabel hasn't a suppressed desire to be this gentleman's mother, but his beloved. What's to be done about it? What about Bob? Don't you think it's going to be a little rough on him?
That can't be helped. Bob, like everyone else, must face the facts of life. If Dr. Russell should arrive independently at the same interpretation, I shall not hesitate to advise Mabel to leave her present husband.
Mm-hmm. How long is it since we've lived here, Henrietta?
Why, this is the 3rd year, Steve.
One would miss this view if one went away, wouldn't one?
How strangely you speak. Oh, Stephen, I wish you'd go to Dr. Russell. Don't think my fears have abated because I've been able to restrain myself. I had to on account of Mabel. But now, dear, you go.
How long have we been married, Henrietta?
Stephen, I don't understand you. You must go to Dr. Russell.
I have gone.
You...
Yes, Henrietta, I've been signed.
You went to Dr. Russell?
The same.
And what did he say?
He said, I was a little surprised by what he said, Henrietta.
Of course, one can so seldom anticipate. But tell me, your dream, Stephen, it means...
It means I was considerably surprised by what it means.
Don't be so exasperating.
It means you really want to know, Henrietta?
Stephen, you'll drive me mad.
He said, of course he may be wrong in what he said.
He isn't wrong. Tell me.
He said my dream of the walls receding and leaving me alone in the forest, indicating a suppressed desire
Yes.
to be freed from
Yes, freed from
marriage.
marriage.
He may be mistaken, you know.
May be mistaken.
Well, of course, I hadn't taken any stock in it myself. It was only your great confidence.
Stephen, are you telling me that Dr. Russell, Dr. A.E. Russell, told you that? Told you that you have a suppressed desire to separate from me?
That's what he said.
Did he know who you were?
Yes,
That you were married to me?
yes, he knew that.
And he told you to leave me?
It seems he must be wrong, Henrietta.
And I've sent him more patience. What reason did he give for this analysis?
He says the confining walls are a symbol of my feeling about marriage, and that their fading away is a wish fulfillment.
Well, is it? Do you want our marriage to end?
It was a great surprise to me that I did. You see, I hadn't known what was in my unconscious mind.
What did you tell Dr. Russell about me that made him think that you weren't happy?
I never told him a thing, Henrietta. He got it all from his confounded clever inferences. I tried to refute them, but he said that was only part of my self-protective lying.
And that's why you were so happy when you came in just now?
Why, Henrietta, how could you say such a thing? I was sad. Didn't I speak sadly of you? Didn't I ask how long we had been married?
Stephen Brewster, have you no sense of the seriousness of this? Dr. Russell doesn't know what our marriage has been. You do. You should have laughed him down. Confined in a life with me? Did you tell him that I believe in freedom?
I very emphatically told him that his results were a great surprise to me.
But you accepted them.
Oh, not at all. I merely couldn't refute his arguments. I'm not a psychologist. I came home to talk it over with you, you being a disciple of psychoanalysis.
If you are going, I wish you would go tonight.
Oh, my dear. Surely I couldn't do that. Think of my feelings. And my laundry hasn't come home.
I ask you to go tonight. Some women would falter at this, Steve, but I am not such a woman. I leave you free. I do not repudiate psychoanalysis. I say again that it has done great things. It has also made some mistakes, of course. But since you accept this analysis, I have to finish this paper. I wish you would just leave me.
I'm sorry, Henrietta, about my unconscious mind.
Henrietta, I'm so glad you're here. And alone? Are you alone, Henrietta?
Very much so.
Henrietta, he's found it.
Who has found what?
Who has found what? Dr. Russell has found my suppressed desire.
That is interesting.
He finished with me today. He got hold of my complex in the most amazing way. But, oh, Henrietta, it is so terrible.
Do calm yourself, Mabel. Surely there's no occasion for all this agitation.
But there is. And when you think of the lives that are affected and the readjustments that must be made in order to bring the suppressed hell out of me and save me from the insane asylum.
The insane asylum?
You said that's where these complexes brought people.
What did the doctor tell you, Mabel?
Oh, I don't know how I can tell you. It's so awful, so unbelievable.
I'd rather have my hand in at hearing the unbelievable.
Henrietta, but who would ever have thought it? How can it be true? But the doctor is perfectly certain that I have a suppressed desire for...
Oh, go on, Mabel. I'm not unprepared for what you have to say.
Not unprepared? You mean you have suspected it?
From the first. It's been my theory all along.
But Henrietta, I didn't know myself that I had a suppressed desire for Stephen.
Stephen?
My brother-in-law, my own sister's husband.
You have a suppressed desire for Stephen?
Henrietta, aren't these unconscious selves terrible? They seem so unlike us.
What insane thing are you driving?
Henrietta, don't you use that word to me. I don't want to go to the insane asylum.
What did Dr. Russell say?
Well, you see, oh, it's the strangest thing. But you know the voice in my dream that called Step N? Dr. Russell found out today that when I was a little girl, I had a storybook in words of one syllable, and I read the name Stephen wrong. I used to read it S-T-E-P, Step, H-E-N, Hen. Step Hen is Stephen. Stephen is Step Hen.
I stepped in.
S-T-E-P, Step, H-E-N, Hen, Stephen.
Well, what if Stephen is Step Hen? Step Hen, Step Hen. For that ridiculous coincidence.
Coincidence? But it's childish to look at the mere elements of a dream. You have to look into it. You have to see what it means.
On account of that trivial, meaningless play on syllables, on that flimsy basis, you are ready. Oh,
What on earth's the matter? What has happened? Suppose I am step head. What about it? What does it mean?
It means that I have a suppressed desire for you.
For me? The deuce you have. What makes you think so?
Dr. Russell has worked it out scientifically.
yes, through the amazing discovery that Step Hen equals Stephen.
Oh, that isn't all. That isn't nearly all. Henrietta won't give me a chance to tell it. She'd rather I go to the insane asylum than be unconventional.
We'll all go there if you can't control yourself. We are still waiting for some rational report.
Oh, there's such a lot about names. I don't see how I ever did it. It all works in together. I dreamed I was a hen because that's the first syllable of Henrietta's name. And when I dreamed I was a hen, I was putting myself in Henrietta's place
With Stephen?
with Stephen.
Oh. What are you doing with that timetable?
I thought you were so keen to have me go tonight. I thought I'd just take a run up to Canada and join Billy. A little shooting.
But there's more about the names.
Mabel, have you thought of Bob? Dear old Bob. Your good, kind husband.
Oh, Henrietta, my good, kind husband.
Think of him, Mabel, out there alone in Chicago, working his head off, fixing people's teeth. You.
Yes, but think of the living libido in conflict with petrified moral codes. And think of the perfectly wonderful way the names all prove it. Dr. Russell said he's never seen anything more convincing. Just look at Stephen's last name, Brewster. I agree on it. And the name Brewster, you have to say its first letter by itself, and then the hen, that's me, she says to him, Stephen B. Brewster. I think it's perfectly wonderful. Why, if it wasn't for psychoanalysis, you'd never find out how wonderful your own mind
B. Rooster. Stephen. B. Rooster.
Oh, you think it's funny, don't you?
Well, what's to be done about it? Does Mabel have to go away with me?
Do you want Mabel to go away with you?
Well, but Mabel herself, her complex, her suppressed desire.
Mabel, are you going to insist on going away with Stephen?
Well, I'd rather go with Stephen than go to the insane asylum.
For heaven's sake, Mabel, drop that insane asylum. If you did have a suppressed desire for Stephen hidden away in you, God knows it isn't hidden now. Dr. Russell has brought it into your consciousness with a vengeance. That's all that's necessary to break up a complex. Psychoanalysis doesn't say you have to gratify every suppressed desire.
Unless it's for Lyman Eggleston.
Well, if it comes to that, Stephen Brewster, I'd like to know why that interpretation of mine isn't as good as this one. Step ahead.
B. Rooster. Step ahead. B. Rooster and Henrietta. Oh, my dear, Doc Russell's got you beat a mile. B. Rooster.
What has Lyman Eggleston got to do with anything?
According to Henrietta, you, the hen, have a suppressed desire for Eggleston, the egg.
Henrietta, I think that's indecent of you. He is bald as an egg and little and fat. The idea of you thinking such a thing of me.
Well, Bob isn't little and bald and fat. Why don't you stick to your own husband? What if Dr. Russell's interpretation has got mine beat a mile? It would only mean that Mabel doesn't want Eggleston and does want you. Does that mean she has to have you?
But you said Mabel Snow.
Mary Snow. You're not as much like her as you think you are, substituting your name for her. The cases are entirely different. Oh, I wouldn't have believed this of you, Mabel. I brought you here for a pleasant visit. Thought you needed brightening up. Wanted to be nice to you. And now you, my husband, you insist.
Careful, dear. You dropped your paper on psychoanalysis.
I don't want my paper on psychoanalysis. I'm sick of psychoanalysis.
Do you mean that, Henrietta?
Why shouldn't I mean it? Look at all I have done for psychoanalysis, and what has psychoanalysis done for me?
Do you mean, Henrietta, that you're going to stop talking about psychoanalysis?
Why shouldn't I stop talking about it? Haven't I seen what it does to people? Mabel has gone crazy about psychoanalysis.
Do you swear never to wake me up in the night to find out what I'm dreaming?
Dream what you please. I don't care what you're dreaming.
Will you clear off my work table so the Journal of Morbid Psychology doesn't stare me in the face when I'm trying to plan a house?
I'll burn the Journal of Psychoanalysis.
My dear Henrietta, if you're going to separate from psychoanalysis, there's no reason why I should separate from you.
But what about me? What am I to do with my suppressed desires?
Mabel, you just keep right on suppressing.